Apple is done with their event and now we see the new lineup of Apple's iPhone, Watch and AirPods. But in this video, we are going to take a look at the new iPhone 14 lineup, and the lineup is not as simple as the previous one, but the first one is iPhone 14, 14 Plus and 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. Besides that, they are done with their mini phones. That's why we are not going to see any 14 mini phones, except we see the iPhone 14 Plus. Talk about the 14 and 14 Plus. If you look closely, they are the same as the previous one, iPhone 13 lineup. The same design, same notch, even the same Apple A15 Bionic chip. And the difference here are the camera, display and connectivity. Display side, they have 6.1 and 6.7 inches display. Now it supports Dolby Vision and HDR. The peak brightness is up to 1200 nits, along with the processor is 18% faster than the previous model, and you will see a clear difference in low light photography. In addition to that, the front camera is upgraded to 12 megapixel, including the autofocus feature. Furthermore, they also include action mode, which will test after it launches. Connectivity is a thing to be discussed. Now you can send text even when there is no cellular signal via the satellite. You may don't need it, but it's good to have this feature, which is free for 2 years. The Pro models are the sign that Apple launches iPhone 14 lineup in this year. Otherwise, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus are the same as the 13 lineup. Clear difference in front design, processor and the display is in the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. Starting with the display side, the display is capable to do 120Hz down to the 1Hz if needed, and that is why the display is battery sufficient, although they introduce always on display. We see that feature, it's not new, but Apple is the company who waits until they do it in their own way. The display has a peak brightness of 1200 nits, although in sunlight it can max up to 2000 nits, which makes the iPhone 14 Pro model display brightest display in the world right now. With an upgraded version of the notch, when I see it the first time, I kinda disappointed, but the way Apple manage it is the beauty of Apple, the feature it has. By the way, under the notch, the camera and the Face ID, which is shrink up to 30%. They do a pretty good job with that, how the songs and other apps still work on the notch and continuously working live, and they call it Dynamic Island, although the name is weird. Processor is also upgraded to A16 Bionic chip, which is compared to the last previous iPhone and flagship Android models are below the score. And the A15 Bionic chip is also enough fast that iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus users will not notice any difference. And Apple say it is 18% faster processor, which is just a saying, and this shrink the processor to 5nm to 4nm. Although the A16 Bionic chip brings something to the table. Now, camera is a difference which is major and needed to be changed, and now iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max had 48 megapixel main sensor. After 7 years, stick to the 12 megapixel sensor. Finally, they increased the megapixel and included 4K cinematic mode, which is now reliable. The photo it captures are 48 megapixel, but the output will be 12 megapixel. It's not the megapixel which makes an iPhone picture excellent. It's their AI, and now they upgraded it and it can do 17 trillion process, which made it far better than its comparison. But the only upgrade here to be noticed is on iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max. 14 and 14 Plus are not a good option, so don't waste your money on that, because you will get a old processor, 12 megapixel, same camera, same design, and purchase it at its original price. I don't think it's a good option. Tell me what you think about these changes in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in the next one. For the time's sake, take care. Bye.